I need to go to work. I drive a school bus for St. Paul Public Schools. I'm a single mom, getting up as early as 4 a.m. Daycare don't start until 6. Boys might be riding with me the whole time. When my children are on here, it's extra challenging.
Good day, young lady, can you put your mask on, please?
It's kind of like I have to maintain their needs.
All right, have a good day, you guys.
And then still be able to assist other people's kids.
Have a good day, have a good day.
Some days, I do feel like I can't do it. What kind of motivates me is I say, hey, Lucy, if you don't get up, how we gonna survive? COVID really did impact me and my family. I remember getting a phone call from the school bus company. It was just like, that's it. We all off. No schools, no money to be able to pay bills, not knowing how, we was gonna eat. I just didn't know nothing. I didn't know what was gonna happen.
The nation's top infectious disease expert is sounding the alarm.
Schools will be closed because of COVID-19.
Families right now scrambling to figure out what's next.
St. Paul Mayor Melvin Carter plans to give families who will be impacted by the pandemic guaranteed income, $500 every month for basic needs.
I've heard some people talking about the guaranteed income that the mayor had going on. $500 a month, and I don't really have to do nothing for it.
Dearest, what you looking at?
I still was kind of skeptical about it. Word of mouth was kind of like 150 families. They kind of had me kind of like, whatever, it was like playing the lottery. Like, we ain't gonna get picked, we not gonna get chose. But we needed help. I had to wake him up to eat cereal or he was gonna miss breakfast. With my kids, I didn't let them know all the worries of like, mommy not gonna know how we go eat next month or know if we gonna still be living here. Everybody clean up, make their beds. Let's see how fast you guys get that stuff done once we finish eating and doing breakfast and stuff, okay? I'm a very good manager because I have a big family. We did chicken last night, what? The hamburger tonight? Okay, well, take out the other ground beef though too. Raising 4 children of my own. I'm also taking care of 2 new babies. The babies are my stepbrother's kids. He got in some trouble through drug addiction and never got clean. To be so down, at that point, not knowing where my next dollar was gonna come from. And I remember looking up to God and I said, why me, I'll pick you up. Okay. Then I seen how happy the babies was. And I said, I'm gonna keep them. Yeah. But to keep them here with me, the adoption agency needed to know how I provide, my income. Right now, even if I did get a new job, I had no money for gas to be able to give to work. I was scared until I got that final phone call. You qualify. I came home. I said, we got a program. You guys won't believe. I was like, we blessed.
$500 maybe isn't enough to live off of, but it's definitely enough to let me breathe.
Is that your bunny?
I think I had just gone back to work from having Sophia. And so I was really nervous about being able to just afford everything. Living is expensive.
Hey, crazy girl. Hey.
Me and Anders, we didn't finish college. I just want to give Fia the best life.
You gonna put this one on?
And where we're at right now, it just seems like we can't. I got a letter in the mail. They said we could get $500 a month. No strings attached. Yay! Originally, I thought it was like a scam. It just sounded too good to be true.
Good job.
I had told my sister about it, and she was like, if they ask for like your social security number, don't give it to them. Don't give them this, don't give them that. Because I was like, you know, it looks like it's signed by the mayor. Like it's. So she looked it up, and she was like, yeah, I think it's like a real thing. $500 is enough to really help you out. You know, that's $500 towards a car payment, $500 towards food every month. I still go to work. I still do everything the same. That extra money doesn't make me any lazier.
Hi, guys. Are you playing blocks?
I am a certified nursing assistant, CNA at a group home. I work with physically and mentally handicapped adults.
Yeah, we gotta get over the bump.
We just help them with their daily living, you know, food, medications, working really hard. The rewards is the relationships with the people that live in the house that you get to work with. Hey, buddy. You are their family. But it would be nice if it paid a little more.
Have a good weekend together?
So that we could take care of our families.
The program really helped us. We both work, but my friend said, oh great, so they're gonna raise my taxes so I can pay for your baby. I don't think that anybody has ever chosen to have a kid to get money from the government. Having kids to make money is not a good idea.
I just feel so grateful. The government isn't a bad thing. I think the government's trying to help.
Good to see you. Here's the thing. Where do you live? Do you live in St. Paul?
Yeah.
I live in St. Paul. Do you go to school in St. Paul?
Yeah.
Me too. So that means if I can be the mayor, you can be the mayor.
The truth is, whatever we ambition for our community, it really all starts with caring for our children. It all starts with ensuring that our children can be excited and hopeful about their future. We're just gonna be a place that's known that if you grow up here, you're gonna grow up cared for.
You guys know why I'm here to celebrate this? How many meals have you given out?
2,000.
This food bag, 2 million.
One of the things that's important to me about guaranteed income is the unconditional nature of it.
Community members have.
What if we as a country set a basic agreement that we want children to be able to eat?
Who wants it?
Me.
We want families to know where they're gonna sleep tonight, and we're gonna set a floor of what it means to be an American.
Every parent have a big dream for their children. Nobody want to see their children grow up poorly, right? I come to US by refugee resettlement. In my country, Burma, it's like military government. People in the country flee for their life. Our little one, she never know Burma. I tell her, you are so lucky because you live in this country. I apply for US citizenship. 345, right? I am a social worker. But I finished my education in the refugee camp. Because we don't have education, like people here, we get lower pay. We work the same hour. You know, every penny you have to work. So to get a 500 each month, oh my goodness, I was so happy. $500, we can use it for our little one, for the milk, for the diaper. We can save for my daughter's education. I want my daughter to do more than me.
We have told so many young people in this country that you're on your own. I can't breathe! In Minnesota, we've seen ourselves as the epicenter of a global conversation since George Floyd was murdered. When people protest the killing of unarmed black men by police, I think that ends up becoming a symbol for all of the ways in which the systems that we create and build and maintain with our public tax dollars are weaponized against us.
The Black Lives Matter protests were the thing that made me think, like, we have to act now. As I looked out and saw so many people taking to the streets and protesting not just police violence, but the violence of poverty. That's why I started Mayors for Guaranteed Income. My name is Michael Tubbs. I'm a former mayor, a recovering mayor for the city of Stockton, California.
Stockton, California made headlines for becoming the first city in the U.S. to test guaranteed basic income.
The data is clear. Guaranteed income works.
50% of this money was spent on things like food and utilities, less than 1% on things like alcohol or tobacco. I mean, these were basic survival spending.
In fact, a guaranteed income made those who received a guaranteed income more likely to get full-time employment than those in the control group who didn't.
You have something called universal basic income that you it's a pilot program, right? UBI, they call it, but it's a fancy way of saying we're going to give some people free money.
But what's interesting...
How's that working out? Do they like free money?
It was amazing to be launching a pilot at the same time Andrew was running for president.
Your signature policy is to give every adult in the United States $1,000 a month, no questions asked.
That's right. And folks were saying, is that what you guys are talking about in Stockton? Is that what you meant?
It would be the trickle-up economy, making our families stronger and healthier. We'd save money on things like incarceration, homelessness services, emergency room health care.
Because you were using your platform as a presidential candidate to speak about basic income. Everyone else on that stage had to respond to it. They had to have an answer to, do they support universal basic income?
The number one question I got was, where is the money going to come from? Fast forward to 2020, we got $2.2 trillion out the door for the CARES Act. People now are like, wait a minute, like we really could do this if we wanted to.
Andrew Yang brought a lot of people into the conversation about basic income. But before we start thinking about everyone in America getting $1,000 a month, I want to start with the people who are working and struggling today. So our pilot programs look at what even a small guaranteed income given to families that need it the most can do to eliminate poverty and unleash freedom and prosperity in America.
Good to see you.
But I need other cities to do guaranteed income pilots. You were the first to think, like, what's this COVID relief? Like, folks need money, they can't work, and then...
When Mayor Tubbs said, hey, we want to bring on other cities, we want to make a national movement of this thing, just felt really exciting.
I remember people saying, like, how are you about to use public dollars? I was like, we could do that?
Hey, like, can now.
But even my imagination was like, it would take more time to give people money with taxpayer dollars, and you just did it.
People don't trust government because they know the government don't trust them. You know what I mean? And when you hear people say, oh, government can make a difference in people's lives, government can be relevant.
So many people said yes before I had raised even $1.
The mayor of Stockton formed something called Mayors for a Guaranteed Income, and I was proud to be a founding member.
People say to me, Mayor, what's the solution to poverty? And I answer with a very simple one-word answer. Money.
It's an argument for restoring the child tax credit. It's an argument for taking guaranteed income seriously.
Baltimore was taking the first steps to establish a guaranteed income pilot program.
Columbia has joined 10 other cities.
In the city of Providence.
Austin, here in Long Beach.
City of New Orleans. I know where I'm at.
We've been able to raise $15 million to provide $500,000 to about 30 cities.
Mayor Tubbs is providing $500,000 from the mayors from guaranteed income.
From California to Jackson, Mississippi, Michael Tubbs pulled mayors together across the country to make sure we did something around guaranteed income for people who need it the most.
Guaranteed income is not a novel idea. It's something that people have been throwing around for some time.
Here in the city of Newark, against a similar backdrop, Dr. Martin Luther King called for guaranteed income.
This visit to Newark today is a part of a nationwide tour around the issue of jobs or income for all Americans.
People want to be a part of this struggle for guaranteed income, even Republicans.
The present welfare system has become a monstrous, consuming outrage. Let us place a floor under the income of every family with children in America.
To have the richest country on the planet have this level of inequity and poverty is embarrassing, right? And it needs to be dealt with.
When I found out that I was chosen for this program, I had felt like my mother and father's work, and so many others, their legacy is just getting started.
This is a basic platform that the mothers who struggle hard to raise us, that the fathers who worked hard, you say we want freedom, we want power to determine the destiny of our black community.
There were so many people in the 70s in Newark who spoke about a guaranteed income program.
Everyone knows that our children are growing up sickly because of the lack of nourishing food. The Black Panther Party was formed to meet the needs of the people, and we feed over 5,000 children a week.
I believe that Newark is a village. We're all brothers and sisters involved in the same struggle. And that struggle is making sure there's food on the table every night, there's lights on when you walk into the house. That struggle is to survive. So with this guaranteed income, my daughter was happy I was gonna be home more. You guys never saw me when I worked both the jobs, you remember that? See?
When you had to work at the morgue and you had this other job where you had to be in the freezer for I don't know how long.
Last year, we all got COVID. My wife had it the worst. And at one point there, when my wife wasn't working, I was trying to work 18 hours a day. I was working at the morgue from 7:30 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon. Then coming home, changing my clothes, racing to get on the clock, and working till sometimes 4:30 in the morning. And that almost killed me.
Well, I gotta go. Jada's calling you. Love you.
All right. Till the end, baby.
See you guys later.
Till the end. This country owes poor people. America has always sold this dream of what? You can come here and pursue your dreams and there's nothing you can't accomplish through our hard work. Well, all the hardworking people aren't getting fair wages. So America has to explain that.
As a country, we make it so hard. You know, I think about guaranteed income, and I think it's the most direct way to say, we see you, we see that you need help, and we trust you. I really view government and our role in government to make people's lives better. But the reality is there's just increasing inequality in our city. It's become a tale of two cities. Cambridge is home to Harvard and MIT, but many of our residents are in need.
When you are coming from poverty, you're stuck. There's nothing you can do unless you can afford to pay rent. I was homeless for 7 years. I didn't have the regular childhood. I had to survive. I was homeless, but I was always working. My first job, I was working at the State House. They didn't know I was homeless. Nobody cares. I feel like my past, it haunts me. I am a domestic violence survivor. I'm still healing from that. Yeah. So I used to really I used to hate my life. I really do believe that women stay in toxic relationships because they cannot afford to leave their husbands. I don't want to depend on anybody. I found the flyer saying you can receive $500 a month. I couldn't believe it. Being in this pilot program makes it so I'm able to go to school. I got a scholarship, but I still have to pay for commuting. It takes 2 hours to get to school every day, and it's about $40 a day. My national exam is today. If I pass this test, I'm gonna be certified to draw people's blood professionally. It is for her. I have my little one that watches me. She's driving me. I really want to show her the steps you need to take to be a successful woman.
And push up, push off. I zip along Haywood Avenue, turn left onto Pepper Street.
Give yourself time to just breathe. Just take a moment to take a breath and look at the word before you even say it. And I want to show my daughter, you will eventually see the results of your hard work, because there's always gonna be opportunities out there. You just have to keep on going. Don't give up. When I can see my results clearly, I can see what my score is. So I failed, but I can take it again in 30 days. I still feel confident. I feel like I can get it this next time. If it really matters to you, you just dust yourself off and try again.
I had a job at Harvard teaching history and social thought. I had been familiar with the concept of basic income or guaranteed income from my studies. It's an idea that's had support on the right as well as on the left.
The proposal for a negative income tax is a proposal to help poor people by giving them money, which is what they need, rather than as now, by requiring them to come before a governmental official, detail all their assets and their liabilities, and be told that you may spend X dollars on rent, Y dollars on food, etc., and then be given a handout.
In the 60s, that was a moment of prosperity. There was an assumption of endless growth. And we learned that that's not true.
Here is a dollar such as you earned, spent, or saved in 1960. And here is a quarter, a dime, and a penny. 36 cents. That's what this 1960 dollar is worth today. I will propose budget cuts in virtually every department of government.
These cuts to the budget undermine the ability of many social programs to succeed on their own terms. It's the familiar strategy of starving the programs and then accusing them of failure.
Do you have other food in the house?
I've always felt the 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
I don't think it's been a deliberate effort to create poverty. But the idea that it's not society's responsibility to take care of children, it's sort of a strange idea. If I were to just sum up what basic income is, it's a kind of exemplary form of care.
How's your Band-Aid? Misha, how's your boo-boo? Show me. No.
Receiving the money has certainly not lessened my initiative to work. After my time at Harvard, I moved into literary magazine publishing and was surprisingly successful. At that point, it became apparent that my son had a significant disability. He had been diagnosed with autism.
Should we put some of this on? Yes?
He needs constant supervision. He can't be with groups of other children in a daycare.
Okay. Yeah. How are you feeling? Good?
At school, he has what they call a 1-to-2, one teacher, two students. You know, that's the environment in which he's safest.
Let's get your coat up. You gotta take this to school? Your jacket. Zip.
Since I became a full-time caregiver, being there every day.
You try. You try. You do it.
Autism is something that challenges you on an intellectual basis, at an emotional basis.
There you look at that. Look at that. You do your buttons. Who's that in the mirror? Who's that?
Me.
That's it.
It's challenging for me, but frankly, I really like it. To wake up with my son, to get him in his van going to and from school, providing the stability and consistency which I think children need more than anything, and which is, you know, a cardinal virtue of the basic income is just the stability and the consistency and the ability to plan. I have no plans to take a vacation to Hawaii on the $500 a month, but it gives me some hope for the future while I'm caring for these children by myself.
Morning, sweetie pie.
Morning, Dad.
Morning. How about an omelet? You would like an omelet?
Okay.
Brush your teeth.
All right.
The strain emotionally and financially of my son's care is immense.
You woke up at 7? Did you hear Misha? It was very quiet this morning.
My daughter is the only friend my son has. I mean, he has no friends for lots of different reasons, but his disability mainly.
It looks like hell, but all right. It's all there.
Stress of caring for my son was a major factor in the decision that my wife and I made at the time to split. And I subsequently took over as the full-time caregiver with sole custody, which caused my income to plummet by more than $100,000. One of the things that happens when you're in survival mode is the very idea of having a future is swallowed up. Poverty is not a culture. Poverty is just not having enough money.
Poverty is being driven by personal behavior. I clearly blame irresponsible parents for much of the poverty in the USA.
You give someone guaranteed income, they're not going to work.
I don't have to work and I still get paid? Wow, what a country.
The government is paying people more not to work than to work.
I just see every homeless person or someone down on their luck or drug abuser, they'll just move to LA, Chicago, New York, get a mailbox address, collect $1,000 a month. Why not? I just don't think that's a great way to run a city.
Poverty is so pervasive. It's easy to say that some people in your communities are struggling because they're not as smart, or they don't work hard, or that they're lazy, but you guys are doing something different. And by giving your residents cash, you're illustrating that all that's a lie. And we know the truth is that people want to work. We have a term for it, the working poor. We know that people are working 2 and 3 jobs that can't afford rent in our cities.
We've poured money into education. We've poured money into job training. We've done everything except the obvious, which is to give poor people money so they're not poor anymore.
We started with one mayor in one small city with 125 people, and now we're at 80 mayors. The work you're doing is challenging 400 years of a narrative around who's deserving and who's not, who has talent and who's not. So you're gonna get hits. People are gonna be upset. But this work is not about today, but really about tomorrow.
I'm a big believer in the universal basic income. I think now is the time for urgent, innovative ideas, and this is an idea whose time has come.
You put a little gas in my tank, I'll show you how far I can go. Guaranteed income was my start money. It helped me get back to work. Due to the pandemic, St. Paul School still didn't start back up. So I ended up having to take a job that wasn't in the area, working for the school bus company, going back and forth with their gas money. Because I had that guaranteed income, I was able to keep that job and do as many hours as I need to be able to pay bills and take care of the children. But I would still be able to get that $500 a month. It actually really motivated me even more to want to work harder. Well, it was not guaranteed for life, but it does make a difference. I'm an essential worker. I feel like now today, you out taking risks because you never know when you go get sick. Never know when my kids want to get sick. I drive at least 85 passengers a day.
Oh, you okay? Okay. Sure?
Every day I'm dedicated to other people's children. They see Miss Lucy every day. Because I get to work as much as I want to work, I was able to save to have a down payment on the mortgage and be in a neighborhood that had more opportunity.
Come on, buddy, you got it. You got it. Show them what you're working with.
I'm here in Wright County, out in Monticello, which is a different kind of lifestyle than where I usually come from.
You can't catch it, though. Let's see.
In the area, there's people that's firefighters, there's police officers, sheriffs, nurses. I always thought to myself, like, people like that was always better than you. I've been around some people where they kind of like make me feel bad by the amount of kids that I have, especially with it not being a father figure. But I think I'm doing a good job.
Everybody look into the little circle thing at the bottom.
It may be a time limit on it, receiving that $500. I just hope that I continue to stay employed and maintain my job, and maybe everything will be okay.
CNAs do a lot of hands-on stuff, and so it's crazy to me that they get paid so much less than nurses. That's why I'm going back to school for nursing right now.
Okay, so for this one.
There's a square root method, which you've done.
I'm doing pre-college algebra. We're learning about parabolas. It's hard.
Let's say the vertex was over here.
I have a lot more prereqs to take. Once I get into the nursing program, that's full-time.
Wait, one?
Yeah, it kind of depends where you're at.
I'm not making a lot of money. I'm working less, going to school. I'm excited that I am finding a career for myself. But we're paying all of our bills like we have just enough with the $500.
Right.
So.
Well, I'll be making a little bit more with my new job. I think it'll be like $400 more a month, but all my stuff is covered with steel chips and coolant and stuff, and my hands are getting torn up, but it's like 800-pound steel plates that we're machining. Working in a steel mill, it's a big opportunity without going back to college or getting a degree. I did hear working in steel mills will take like 10 years off your life. If anything happens with a medical bill or something,
I know.
I mean, we'll be completely sunk.
Yeah.
If you picked up one more day a week, I mean, that would help.
Maybe finding somebody to watch Sophia.
Wouldn't make sense to do daycare or get a nanny or anything.
We can't afford it.
Right, because that would cost just as much as you make. Rent is our biggest expense right now.
In this beautiful city that I love, there's tents a block away from mansions.
We must end America's addiction to poverty, an addiction that costs us tens of billions of dollars a year in lost productivity, criminal justice costs, and unequal health outcomes. Los Angeles will launch the largest guaranteed basic income pilot of any city in America.
It's a difference maker. It's not a lot, but it's enough for them to have a whole new horizon for their life.
I'm so sorry. You gotta brush your teeth. My goal in raising my daughter is to ensure that she has a better outcome than I did. What about the rest of it? You gotta brush your gums too. When she looks at herself in the mirror, I want her to say, like, I love me. Good job. I want her to look at herself and be like, that's a queen. And it feels great. I want her to laugh. Brush your little teeth. Brush your little teeth. You want to try by yourself? But I'm also homeless. We were at the hotel rooms and all my money was going to keep us there. And I couldn't keep us there with the money I had, and it felt bad. It felt bad to use up all our savings to make sure that we had somewhere to stay. It felt bad to be deciding who was gonna eat, you know, like to sit here and be like, okay, like we only have like $10. Like, let me just make sure she has her snacks. The basic income, it was like a breath of air, you know? But right now, rent is at $1,500. So even the basic income won't get you a room. So to say that the basic income would get people to stop working, I feel like it's kind of ridiculous considering how high everything is to live right now. Groceries, just for me and my daughter, I'm spending like $150 a week. 4 weeks, that's like $600. It costs money just to exist. I have my stuff ready to go. I always have my stuff ready to go just in case something happens. I have all my bags. I'm just always ready to go because, like, that's just what it is right now. Yeah. You can sit down. You want to get this right now? You have this one and this one. I'm currently staying at a shelter by Hope of the Valley. It's called Genesis House. We'll be closing it at the end of this month to start a new program. So I have I guess like 7 days to know that I'm moving and to know where I'm moving to. Being in survival mode, you're always on the edge of your seat.
Is St. Paul in the house?
Anybody who thinks refugees are a burden on a community has clearly never been to St. Paul. We have this incredible community with people from literally all over the globe, and we're better because of it. That's why we are launching the first guaranteed income pilot focused on refugee families to pay the cost of citizenship.
I came here as a refugee. I am so grateful to America to support people like me. And today is my big day to become a new citizen in US, to go to the oath ceremony. It's so exciting for me. It's very meaningful. After you become a citizen, you have opportunity and also responsibility. And I'm so proud.
Repeat after me. I hereby declare.
I hereby declare.
I will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of America.
Of the United States of America.
Let me be then the first to congratulate you, new citizens of the United States of America.
To become US citizen, that is my dream. And my dream come true.
I really do believe in the American dream. I've watched so many people from different countries start over here. But if you're on welfare, the minute you make some income, they'll take away your food stamps, they'll take away your housing assistance. It's impossible to save money and become independent. So a lot of single parents feel trapped. The difference it makes to get $500 a month is freedom to avoid eviction, getting your electricity cut off. It's given us a chance to take our lives back.
When we invest in our residents is when we see our city at its best. But we have a long way to go to address the disparities that exist in our city. This is why the City of Cambridge is allocating $22 million to provide guaranteed income to every single family under the federal poverty level in the City of Cambridge. I'm happy to say that we're joined by one of the recipients this evening, Porchia and her daughter, Rose. Just recently, she passed the final exam to receive her medical assistant certification.
Remember I told you I had to take a big exam? I passed.
Good job.
Thank you. I passed my national medical exam. When I watch you advocate for people who are silent, that just need that push and that opportunity. I met the mayor. I love the fact that she is fighting for women to be not just mothers, but also career women with dreams. She's the reason why mommy gets to go to school.
Porchia and her daughter came up to me and said, "This is really going to change my life." I'm so happy that, it's making a difference. And I see these residents in what my parents faced, right? Struggling to put food on the table because things are so expensive. My mom and dad just worked constantly to provide for us, and We didn't know that they were just constantly thinking about money and like making sure that we were making ends meet and yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm from Pakistan, but I grew up in Cambridge.
In Cambridge.
Yeah, I grew up in the Ridge Towers, and then I grew up in Roosevelt Towers. We were living in public housing until like so much of what I'm able to do comes from that lived experience. And I've seen so many community members go through ups and downs, like my own family. ये पूछ रही है तुमको community Cambridge के अंदर रहना तुमको क्या mean होता है?
I love Cambridge because she lives 8 minutes drive from my house. But she don't marry, I told her, but she marry with Cambridge. Every day we fight with her. Please, she don't waste your time, don't waste your time. But she don't care. She say, I love people to help them.
Mayor Siddiqui, it makes me feel like there's hope. But when the program ends, my challenge is just being able to afford market rents.
Nope, all I need is food, clothing, and shelter. Scratch that, just food and shelter.
I invested my income into school. I don't have money saved up. I worry about being in a situation where I can't provide for my child.
My son, he's constantly going for evaluations at different hospitals and clinics. Autism is a medical diagnosis that has no cause, limits, or cure. It's very unlikely he will be able to meet the standard of self-sufficiency that I grew up with. Welfare programs, you can have your breadcrumbs, but you need to work after 6 weeks. You have to continually prove yourself worthy of having these breadcrumbs. With basic income, I use it for the benefit of my son, but I don't have to. So there's a kind of trust. It doesn't give you dignity. No one can give you dignity. You have to have that yourself, but it doesn't take it away. Kids like my son, they don't vote, they don't tweet, they don't shop. Who will provide for him? And how will he live after I'm gone? That is the question that keeps me up at night.
Poverty is a policy choice that this nation has made, and we can make a different choice. Millions of Americans have just experienced unconditional cash payments delivered monthly without strings attached for the first time in the form of the child tax credit. Now, the child tax credit is effectively a guaranteed income for kids. For 6 months, nearly every parent in America got the check. It cut poverty in half. And we came so close to making it permanent.
It's already hard being a single parent. How can I take on two more, without a father? I try not to apply a lot of pressure to my oldest, but they help me out a lot.
We got the extra kids, which is fine. I love babies, but they're starting to get big.
From the beginning, I wasn't intended to take those kids in and keep them forever. But once I chose to adopt, they with me for life. The baby boys ended up catching COVID from daycare. Once they caught COVID, it was like everybody caught it right after.
We knew she was gonna get it because we all had it. Of course she was gonna get it because
my mom handled her so well. Like, she didn't really show that she was sick because she was too busy trying to take care of us, make sure we're good, make sure we're fed. So, but then we did help her on the side. We help her with the babies.
It was really bad. I can't work at all. I was in and out, dizzy. Everything was just aching. I didn't know how it was going to turn out. Like, I don't want to die. If anything was to happen, like to me, and if I wish to pass away, I pay a little extra to make sure that the house will be paid off. And everything that I worked so hard for, they're able to keep that whether I'm here or not.
Some broccoli. Home is nice. The neighbors and stuff, that's fine, but it's just the school part. How they act towards us.
They don't just treat the black kids like that. They treat other colored kids
yeah.
too, like Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, just different race other than white. It's not just black kids.
That they would be experiencing racism in school. And today, 2022, it did shock me. I was thinking to myself, like, I'm gonna have to sell a house. I'm gonna have to get out this community. But at the same time, I said, you know, stand for your rights. Because all people are equal.
It's much easier to integrate a bus than it is to guarantee an annual income, for instance, to get rid of poverty for Negroes and all poor people. And I think we are in a new era, a new phase of the struggle, where we have moved from a struggle for decency to a struggle for genuine equality.
There's so much of my father's work that has been left by the wayside. He called for the guaranteed income.
It seems to me that the civil rights movement must now begin to organize for the guaranteed annual income, begin to organize people all over our country and mobilize forces.
For him, he saw it as the answer.
We can end poverty in the United States. Our nation has the resources to do it.
The resources are here. So we have to figure out how to develop the will in people.
The fight for civil rights or human rights was always an economic fight, particularly at this inflection point in human history. Mm-hmm. If we don't fix the here and now, which is what guaranteed income is about, if we don't get to the point where we understand that you have dignity because you're a person, just because you're a human, you have dignity, if we don't get that right, the next 100 years will be very, very scary.
The greatest thing that we have to address today is fear. And the number one thing that people are concerned about across the nation is crime and violence. That's why this now is important, because there are those that can be rehabilitated. When we have a world where people have what they need, violence and crime begins to diminish. That's the world I want to see.
You never believe that anything's free in life. I was recently released from prison. It was a struggle the first 90 days because I didn't have any source of income. With this guaranteed income, I've actually been able to complete probation, complete parole. Everything that's designed is designed for you to fail. But I was determined Not to fail because I didn't want to go back in that place. I wake up every morning and my desire is to just be a productive member in society. I'm not big on crime, but I need it for somebody to hear me, somebody to know that, you know, this income, it gives a person the hope that they can survive.
I think the general public maybe doesn't appreciate the difficulty that people face coming out of incarceration. You are 10 times more likely to be homeless the second your foot steps out of the prison. But regardless, there's any number of fees that a person may face. Court fees, probation fees. If somebody just couldn't keep up with their payments, they locked them back up. You are simply too poor to be free. What we're proposing is just to give somebody a bit of a cushion to get going. We've been working on guaranteed income for formerly incarcerated people. In the beginning, there's like some idealism, being able to give people this support. But then, of course, there's been some challenges that have come up.
Like, I've lost so much. I'm in jail, you know.
People have been reincarcerated. It's definitely been some times where it's been like, fuck, like, is this actually working? How long were you in there for?
It's been 7.
7, okay. How you have to operate while you're inside is different than how you operate on the outside. That, for a lot of us, is like the hardest part, really.
Just trying to do better.
Mm-hmm. Helping people with money when they come out of prison. That can be like a little like controversial. But I was in prison and I barely made it. So to be of like use to someone else who's going through what I know to be a very difficult reality is like an absolute privilege, you know what I mean? I've kind of devoted my whole life to doing this at this point.
It's just gonna be finding a place, but you don't have the cash right up front, you're not staying nowhere.
I had the same experience that you did, like when I got out of prison. Nowhere else to go. This was the only place that I could possibly even get to. And I actually like refused to come in and spend the night here because I had just come from prison. I was like, there's no way in hell.
Well, even from being in prison, just the buildings and the layout, it's still a prison. It's not housing people as a prison anymore. They shut it down and then turned it into homeless shelters. But it's still a prison.
It's a trap. You know, it's sort of like you're set up to fail when you get out. I came here because it was the last resort. And honestly, when I got here, I was like, hey, I just got out of prison. And somebody went, oh my God, how are you? It was the first time anyone asked me like how I was doing. That wasn't like a family member. And it like absolutely like pierced me completely. And so when the mayor of Gainesville said, would you guys implement a guaranteed income? When we said, yes, we will, but only if it's for formerly incarcerated people, it was kind of like, are they gonna go for this?
We had many discussions about liabilities and focusing on formerly incarcerated neighbors. And at the end of the day, just because there are challenges with public opinion, it doesn't make this group any less deserving, and it doesn't make the impact that we can have any less necessary.
Getting out of prison in the state of Florida, you get a debit card for $50. And a person that don't want to do something bad is probably going to do something bad just to survive because of the family finances. My daughter is going to be living on the streets if I can't do something. I don't want to do anything that'll put me back in prison. I was the enforcer in a motorcycle club. I'm still that guy. And being a veteran, there's no deprogramming of all that stuff they put in your head. That's why so many vets wind up in prison. The basic income, That totally changed everything. Was able to get my daughter into a motel room. But if it wasn't for them finances, it wouldn't have been a motel. Otherwise, she's on a street corner with a stomach that's growling and hurting, and there's nothing. If there's breath in my body, my daughter will not live like that.
This is about really creating independence. We can stay addicted to poverty, but by the end, you'll have a bigger bill on all the things that we pay for today to keep poverty alive. Or we can pay a little bit more up front and end poverty for families across America.
I've been dealing with the homeless situation, looking for an apartment. Like, I had heard no so many times. I was pretty burnt out. The landlord would just look at me like, how are you gonna pay for this apartment? Show me that you have some income coming in. But it's hard when it's like we're literally surviving paycheck to paycheck. Minimum wage does not cover enough for rent and food. The biggest thing that helped me get in was the fact that I had this basic income.
Got it?
Look. What are we gonna play out here?
We've never had an apartment on our own before.
It's gonna be a huge adjustment of having a monthly rent.
I'm excited, but I'm scared. It's a lot of responsibility.
Actually, I'll throw that away. The program ended. Losing that $500, we have to move out of our apartment. Maybe we should pack this. Do you think we should pack this or put it in storage?
Definitely pack that.
Because Sophia plays with it. What about this one?
Oh yeah, she loves it.
I think you would pack everything if we could. This is so hard.
It dings my pride a little bit. Moving back in with your parents is like going on parole or something, where it's like you failed out of regular society, so you need to be rehabilitated.
I think Sophia's got more stuff than her whole apartment does.
Oh, she's the boss.
She is the boss.
You know, my grandpa was able to support a family of 4 working at a warehouse, and he bought a house, and my parents bought a new house when they were just starting off teaching, and that kind of dream in America is a little dead right now.
We're very fortunate to have his parents and family that would let us crash with them for a while, especially with little Fifi.
Say, Mary.
You're a little right. I could. Yeah. All right, hold on. Yeah. Hi, Sophia. Hi, baby. Mwah. We're doing what's best for our family. You wave. You say hello. I see it being really, really fun for Sophia, having this place to run around. What do you see? What's that? Is it the swing? She's like, swing, swing. But what else do you see? These are some of the things that I want to be able to give her eventually. And this is just, you know, a quick stop, temporary stop, and then we'll be places better than we were before.
Oh, is that cute? Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Thank you. My friends and like colleagues and stuff hate the government. In some aspects, I agree with them.
Yeah,
But the fact that they were able to implement this $500 a month program for 100 families and it worked, it showed that they are able to directly affect change for poor families.
Look at that. Wow.
When you hear about how bad the government is and then they did something like this, it's like, well, makes you rethink things.
Losing that $500, I definitely feel that loss. It was something that I knew was gonna be there. If Sophia was sick and I couldn't go to work, I would have that $500 no matter what. It's definitely more stressful than it was. $500, a lot of people don't think is a lot, but it is a lot to a lot of people.
In 2020, the pandemic forced us to say, how do we get cash in the hands of residents who need it? Because our community members face challenges that they just never have before.
People are driving an hour away, 2 hours away to just find baby formula. You start to realize just how heavy these last couple years really have been. Everyone feels a sense of loss, and everyone's afraid of losing more, when in fact, we're really all in the same boat together.
In the last 4 years, we've grown from just one mayor to over 100 who are trying different variations of guaranteed income. Already, we see this spreading from mayors for a guaranteed income to now counties for a guaranteed income.
Here in Cook County, 233,000 people applied. And so there's clearly a great need for this kind of support. And frankly, those of us at the local level, whether it's cities or counties, are trying to make the case that the states and the federal government have to step up and do this work because they have more resources than we do.
We live in a nation that is the richest on the planet Earth. If you look at our whole tax system, we spend about $630 billion helping people with wealth, giving them tax breaks to create more wealth. But as soon as you start talking about giving basic income, people start asking, well, what are they gonna do with that money? You're not asking those questions about the wealthy who are getting loopholes and credits, but you wanna ask that about a struggling family that all the data shows is when they get that money, they use it to meet their minimum basic needs of just living.
Hey, how you doing, Bonnie? See you waiting on me. Well, you know how rush hour traffic is.
Yeah, I just gotta go to the store and pick up.
Okay. How you feeling?
I'm feeling all right. Like I said, this,
Guaranteed income did end. I was able to pick up a second job, taking care of people with a disability. These people, they need so much help. Washing, cleaning. It seemed like it fitted right with me.
She's a gift from God.
You gotta check and make sure, just to make sure that you do that.
Because without her, I'm gonna be sitting there talking to you. I put it like that.
Let me check your leg, how that's been feeling.
I mean, I don't look at it as a care worker. I look at it as a person that cares.
Before the program, I always kind of base myself off of how the system works. I will always try and keep myself to work no more than 25 hours a week.
This ain't gonna be enough.
So I can receive food stamps so we can be able to eat.
That's good? Okay, you gotta eat a piece of meat. You gotta eat a piece of meat first.
I could.
Stop playing with it. Good job. Yeah.
This kind of made me look at it in a way like, okay, they trusting in me, they believing in me. I didn't even know I had the strength to be able to do 40 plus hours or to be able to pick the kids up from daycare and move around how I'm able to move around. Always been a person that worked, and when I fell down, all I needed was a boost. It picked me right back up like, boop, okay, get back to work.
Could you give us your full name and your date of birth?
Lucille Ronita O'Quinn, 11/21/86.
You are currently not married?
No.
Okay. Do you desire that the legal relationship of parent and child be established between you and each of these children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Ms. Jacquard, would you like to make a statement?
Yes, Your Honor. It's been a long road to get here. Ms. O'Quinn has worked very hard to be in this position today. I promised myself I wouldn't cry. It's been a very tough case, but Ms. O'Quinn is very much their mother, and it is in my purview that it is in the children's best interest, both Darius and Amir, to be adopted by Ms. O'Quinn. Thank you.
Okay. Then one more question, Ms. O'Quinn. Do you freely accept the obligation to provide these two children with love and security, with a home and the necessities of life, and with the best available education?
Yes, ma'am.
Based on what I've heard here today and my review of the submitted documents, I do find it is in the best interest of Darius and Amir to be adopted by Lucille Grenada O'Quinn, and judgment will be entered accordingly. From henceforth, their names will be Darius Dermond Baker O'Quinn and Amir Royal Baker O'Quinn. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
And you're a beautiful family.
I shall propose to help more Americans with incomes too small to even meet their basic needs. To do this, the rich must help the poor, and we must do our part. This administration today, here and now, declares unconditional war on poverty in America.
We are 60 years into a war on poverty, and giving poor people money still feels new. And our residents know that we're betting against them. They know that we're betting against them. I'm from Minnesota. And so after George Floyd was killed, and we saw people in our state and all across the world taken to the streets in protest, we have to know they weren't just protesting police violence. We have to know they were protesting all of the ways in which these systems that we pay into just always feel like they have their knee on our neck. And so we're approaching a new model. Just a little bit of money, a relatively small amount of money, can unlock an entire world of potential of lasting impacts. And it changes our approach to say, how do we get out of the way and let people achieve the amazing, world-changing potential that truly exists in all of our children?